Them Brothers from Inglewood podcast, coming to you live and direct. I have an interesting topic to discuss today, but before I do, I just want to say thank you for being patient and following us on this channel. I'm going to ask if you would be so kind to like, subscribe, and share the content that you'll briefly be hearing today. Also, want to commend you for all of your support and your encouragement. It has been an awesome ride, means a lot, and as we try to monetize this thing and take it to the next dimension, I just want you to get the word out, share it, let people know that these are some very interesting subjects, but also relatable subjects. So I just want to say thanks again, and it's good to be out in the field trying to share some really good content. Listen, I was thinking about all of the different experiences that we might have, especially through relationships, whether it's family members, friends, associates, or just community, us sharing the same community, the same, city and things like that. And it was interesting because it really just kind of fell on me in a significant way, whereas I was really thinking about loyalty and wanted to kind of, run some things by you today as it relates to what loyalty means to you, if it means anything at all. So I'm here at a local playground. I didn't grow up here, but the concept is the same. And so today I just want to talk about how loyalty ties in really with family, community, friendship, or organization, team. And we're here on the playground simply because when we were kids, and many of you can attest to this, many of you have experienced this, those who haven't grown up, let's say in the country, in the woods, where there were trees, sticks, and all these different things. But even then, in the deep South or Midwest or rural towns in West, Virginia, there was a time where kids gathered together and they played. They played games, they ran, they jumped, they played hide and seek, all these different things. So today, being in this playground really began to hit home for me in this aspect. Loyalty is a learned skill. Loyalty sometimes has to be taught. It has to be illustrated, demonstrated, and walked out. Many times we become who we are based on how we were raised, what the culture was like, what the expectation was like. And so when I think of kids, adolescents, young adults, I really go all the way back to the origin of everything, which was playgrounds, it was community, it was gatherings, it was familiar places, it was all these terrific things that molded and shaped our development. And so we as adults, and many of us are well into adulthood and still haven't learned the importance of loyalty. They've lost track, or maybe they just flat out deny that loyalty is important. So we've seen on many scales of family, team orientation, whatever takes place in our community, we've learned that we get more accomplished together. We get more things done when there's more bodies, when there's more hands, when there's more help. And today is no different than it was 50 years ago, 60 years ago, when it seemed as though loyalty, respect, discipline, dedication, it meant something. There was a code. There was something that we vowed to do, and we held up our end of the bargain. We did everything not to violate that code. And yeah, I can hear some of you guys saying, well, yeah, it's just like the gangs. I'm not glorifying gangs. I'm not glorifying violence or communities that do things to destroy it. Definitely thinking back in the 70s and 80s, even the early 90s, where it was just complete genocide. Black on black crime. We were robbing each other, stealing each other's stuff. We were fighting. We were, experiencing all types of conflict. There was a lot of gunplay. People were losing their lives. Innocent people were dying. Kids were dying. All because of a culture that pretty much produced pride. It was generated from pride, but it produced a lot of negativity. And I pay close attention to a lot of different people that are on podcasts, especially California, SoCal, and Northern Cal, and they talk about the gang culture, the history, and how to reform ourselves. I commend a lot of these brothers and sisters that are reputable men and women speaking on reformation. They're speaking on how to regenerate a culture that was once healthy, that was once vibrant, where black people were proud of being black, brown people were proud of being brown, and we got together. We shared allies, or we shared things within our boundaries, and then things start getting away from us. So the concept of a playground, to me, is significant in this aspect of demonstrating role play. But when we were on the playground, it was all about fun, competition, friendly fire, so to speak. But we really enjoyed coming to the local parks, coming to the blacktop to play basketball, play tennis, play sandlot football, get with the homies, hang out with our girls, romance. And we brought blankets to the park back in the day. We brought food, picnic baskets. We barbecued. We did all these wonderful community things because that was our culture. That was our nature, and that was the black experience. It was the brown experience as well, but I just thought it was very important to bring to light or to shine something positive into our hearts, into our community, based on what this illustration is really all about. I think we can pull from friendships, relationships, unity, support, and all of the positive things that were once at the forefront of our lives. This was very important to our parents, to our grandparents, to our great-grandparents. This is where we came to fellowship, to enjoy ourselves, to express ourselves. There were live bands, live music, concerts in the park. Where I grew up in Inglewood, there was an old radio station, KACE. And, we listened to a lot of hip hop, a lot of R&B, a lot of gospel, a lot of, jazz. It was really an exciting time back in the 80s. They would do concerts in the park. They would actually had this double-decker bus. I'll never forget it. It was red and white, and they would have people on that bus. They would be playing live music. They would be dancing and fellowshipping, and then they would go to a particular destination. They would either pull up at a shopping center or they would pull up at a park. And I just remember in Inglewood, they used to come to the shopping center right off of Crenshaw and Imperial. And there was a Thrifties there. There was I think it was Smith Food King, and that's we look forward to coming and socializing. Pioneer Chicken was right there. You know, Brawley Hut was right across the street. I mean, that was our city. You know, that's what we did. That was something that we look forward to doing, and we had a great time. I mean, I was a really young fella, and some of the guys that were in junior high school, even early college, man, we would come back, and man, it would be on. And I will never forget that some of the rival games would come just to listen to the music. I mean, everybody knew who everybody was. There was guys from, you know, Neighborhood Crip, Watergate Crip, IVC. There was, you know, the Avenue Pyrus, the Crenshaw Mafias, Inglewood families, sometimes, you know, the CPBs. And, you know, it was a big thing because actually most of us went to school together. A lot of us, you know, we grew up together, did elementary school, middle school, and we started in high school before, you know, those factions and those guys started really becoming rivals, and they started branching out. A lot of guys went to Washington High, Hawthorne High, Lusinger High, continuation schools, and we just kind of grew apart. But there wasn't any gunplay. I remember being in those shopping centers, and, you know, the rivals would come. We'd all listen to music, and those factions would get together. And if it was some type of rivalry or some type of beef, them dudes would squabble. You know, sometimes they would just match up. They would just let some of the younger homies fight, or, you know, some of the big homies would get a head up fade, and that would be that. It wasn't a lot of gunplay. You know, back then in the 70s and 80s, dudes was going from the shoulders. Dudes was squabbling. If you couldn't squabble, you just get beat up until you learn how to squabble. And I don't mean to really get off on the gang environment or the gang culture, because, you know, to keep it 100, I wasn't from the turf. You know, I didn't claim a set. You know, I lived in the neighborhood, you know, and you know, it was really what it was, because a lot of us as, you know, athletes, we were still athletes from a certain section, from a certain city. And that was the reputation, and you was a part of that community. And so sometimes you got labeled as that. And sometimes you had to squabble in the name of your city. And it wasn't that you wanted, you know, to squabble, or you were looking to go somewhere and squabble just for your city. But if it came down to that, you had to take that fade, or you got packed out, whatever it was. That's just how it was. That was the gang culture. So, you know, a lot of guys wasn't pulling out guns and shooting you down because you were from a certain area. You know, they knew who was who. And yeah, we were rival cities, but at the same time, a lot of those same brothers got a lot of dudes off of us. I played basketball and football early in my adolescence. I created relationships. I developed friendships. You know, even though we were from different sections, guys was from other turfs, but we had a camaraderie because we were either teammates or we competed against each other. And that was important, because those relationships ended up getting a lot of dudes off of me. I'll be in different neighborhoods. I'll be playing athletics, waiting around for our game to start, or walking, from that high school to my car or to the bus stop, and dudes would get on you. Some dudes were older. Hey, they didn't know you. You was from a different part of town. Hey, they'd escort you out of their city, or sometimes it would get physical, but most of the time athletes got a pass. And so I say that to say that deep down beneath the culture of the violence and all of that conflict and activity, brothers still had a heart. They showed you respect. They showed you mercy. You know what I'm saying? I don't really want to say that a lot of them had compassion for you, but at times they did show you mercy. And so the park is a representation of how we should exercise life today. We should be full of love, joy, peace, compassion. We should get into a place where we want to exercise those characteristics and build together. And so today, the loyalty from a subject matter really derives from all these other things, especially love. You're loyal to what you believe in. You're loyal to what you care about. You're loyal to what you love. You're loyal to people for certain reasons. You're loyal to things for certain reasons. And we don't see a lot of it today. We don't see it in marriages. We don't see it in relationships. We don't even see it in athletic sports teams. I've never seen so much selfishness. I've never seen so much me, myself, and I in sports in all of my life. I love sports, the community. I love the industry. I'm a part of it. I'm still a part of it. But there are so many things that I dislike about it. I dislike some of the business practices. I dislike some of the characteristics and actions of the people that are a part of it. And especially the team players, the actual players today. They're so selfish. They're so greedy. They're so self-absorbed. It's about their brand. It's about their success. It doesn't seem like, as a whole, the sports community is about the team. It's about the organization. And it goes back to where we are, how we grew up. What is the culture? What does loyalty mean to us? Is it important? Is it a code? Can we live with it, or can we live without it? Just because things happen around us and things go on that we might not like, that might just disappoint us, is it cool to take on the same attitude as the oppressor, or the one who is mistreating you? Just because you've been mistreated, that means mistreat someone else? And that's the whole thing. What are you loyal to? What does loyalty mean to you? And so I needed to really get this off my chest, because again, we see in the sports community, in that industry, we see commentators, professional journalists, literally. And I understand mass media. I went to school for journalism, and I've taken communications and marketing courses. I get it. I understand that mass communication is all about propaganda. Good, bad, indifferent. Whatever can sell the seats, whatever can sell the tickets, whatever can get the exposure, that's what mass media is going to do. I get all that. But at the end of the day, how are you sleeping at night? How are you looking in the mirror, if you look in the mirror, after you kill someone with your tongue. You kill their reputation. You kill their character. You try to assassinate it, and you do all these different things for a paycheck. What are you loyal to? You really loyal to the money. You're loyal to your own happiness. You're loyal to your own success. That's a key component as it relates to worldwide success. Will there always be poor people among you? Yes. Will there always be someone struggling, someone without? Yes. But we're still supposed to do our part. We're still supposed to be willing to assist, to help. And I can hear somebody saying now, oh, here we go, self-pity, looking for a handout, want somebody to pull them up. Listen, if that's the attitude, then that's the explanation as to why people practice selfishness and continue to just add to their own palate. Greedy, greedy, greedy. How much money do you need? How much money can you spend? You got millions upon millions. Some of y'all are billionaires, and you still trying to get more money. Explain to me, how many bills do you really have? If you're worth millions of dollars, 50 million, 100 million, a billion, how many bills do you have? And believe me, I get it. The IRS is going to take 44%. Taxes are going to, 100 million isn't actually 100 million. I understand all that. But even if you're left with half, and then you have to pay your management team, you have to pay certain things. Okay, let's just say out of 100 million, you're left with 40 million. You can't live off of 40 million? You're still in debt with 40 million? Come on, man. Come on. And you invest in money too? You're partnering with other organizations and industry. Come on. I mean, come on, really. You don't have it? And then you only have a core group of friends or associates that you literally grew up with, or that you've been knowing, and you knew when you were broke and you were grinding and struggling or going to school and trying to make it. I get all that. We all should strive to do our best, get on our feet. But none of us have made it without someone else. We all need help, and we've all needed help and will need help regardless to what level you're on. I teach my kids to this day, yes, independence, to be focused, apply discipline, have great work ethic, do your best, strive. I teach all of my children that concept. However, I do not disappoint them by not sharing with them they're gonna need some help. Whether it's from me, their mother, whether it's from family members, friends, the supervisor on the job, the educator at school, they're gonna need some help, period. So loyalty reflects what's inside of us. So here on the playground, everything that was inside of us would ooze out. All of the happiness, all of the joy, all of the excitement. It happened when we came to the playground, when we came to the park. You're not gonna fool me. When it was time to go as a kid, you were upset. You were disappointed. You wasn't ready to go. You wasn't ready to get off the swing. You wasn't ready to get out of the sand. You wasn't ready to come off the grassy field. You wasn't ready to come off the basketball court. You wasn't ready. I know I wasn't, because I was pouting all the time. I was never ready to go. My mom would come and get my brothers and I, or my oldest brother, Curtis, would say, hey, it's time to go, so he can walk us home. I'd be hotter than a pot of neck bones. I'd be hot as fish grease because I wasn't ready to go. Why? I was having fun. I was there with my friends. It was safe. My team was either winning or we wasn't winning enough, and I was like trying to even the score. Listen, these were the best times of our life. It derived from confidence, loyalty, discipline, support, community, and leadership. We had people to lead us. We had older siblings. We had cousins. We had educators. We had men who were still in the home. People's fathers, people's uncles. They had enough love and care and concern to teach us what was loyal. So look, I'm glad you tuned in. I'm going to ask that you, again, like, subscribe, share this content, ring the notification bell so that you will be abreast as to every time we air. I'm one of them brothers from Inglewood. This is a great platform and podcast for us to share great content. I'm coming back. I'll have some guests. We're going to interact. We're going to add some bells and whistles to everything. I'm just really excited to be able to bring you content. And again, I am an advocate for success, for urban community, for family, for togetherness, for team. And that's what we should concentrate moving forward on, how to build our community, how to build ourselves. And that's not being selfish. We got to build ourselves. We got to stabilize ourselves. If you're not stable, it's going to be very difficult for you to carry a load at any level. So again, thank you. I'm signing off. This car is coming to a stop, and I've enjoyed this time together thoroughly. Let's do it again. Every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, we want to go live. We want to have some interaction with some guests, but look for us so that we can continue to bring you content. Them brothers from Inglewood. See you soon. Take care.